Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, how about those debates last night? That was some crazy clown show stuff. I caught a couple clips of the debate, and it just made me sick to my stomach. I couldn't watch it anymore. At the end of the day, they don't talk about the issues that we all care about, right? And to me, when I look at the planet, when I look at the United States, when I look at all the countries, I see one problem. That's it. Just one problem. One problem can fix all the world's individual problems. And what is the number one problem in the world? It's money. That's what it comes down to. Whether people don't like to talk about it or what. It's all about money. That's what it's all about. And our money is broken, right? When you take out a $20 bill out of your wallet to pay something, you're not taking out a $20 bill. You're taking out a debt instrument. You're taking out a Federal Reserve debt note, and you're paying that. That is a unit of debt, right? Our money system is based off a fiat currency debasement, right? Our currency is continuing to be debased by infinite amounts of money printing. So when I pay my electric bill, when I pay my phone bill, when I pay my insurance bill, when I pay my health insurance, car insurance, when I pay my grocery bill, when I buy some eggs, when I buy some milk, when I buy gasoline, that's what people want to talk about. They don't care about Roe v. Wade. Yeah, it's true. It's a problem, right? But at the end of the day, let's talk about common problems that everybody have, not just certain select people, right? So yes, those issues are very important, but at the end of the day, there's only one issue that is the most important, and that is our broken money system, right? I am pro crypto. I am pro economy, and I am sort of anti corrupt central bank, right? And when I say sort of, is because we do need banks to some level. But at the end of the day, they didn't really talk about the number one problem on planet Earth, which is our broken money system. By the way, our money system is based off a monetary system that is completely and utterly in control, and they're basically unelected, right? You have a Federal Reserve that prints money out of thin air, loans it to the government with interest attached, then we the people have to pay it back plus interest, right? So no matter if the Fed raises rates, no matter if they lower rates, no matter if they print money or if they turn the printer off, the system is broken. It's broken. We need a new system. And my goodness, what is the number one thing that can fix the number one problem? It's crypto. I mean, at the end of the day, right? That debate should have been spending at least, it was a 90-minute debate, I think, or 2 hours. That debate should have been spending at least half of the time talking about money, because that's what people care about. That's what people look. In order for people's lives to be easier, we need to have some room to breathe here, right? But everybody's spending paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, and things are so expensive, right? Because inflation is getting worse. They don't talk about the real problems, and that's the problem, right? The problem is they don't talk about the real problems, right? I mean, they talk about things that the media wants them to talk about, like immigration. Yeah, it's a terrible thing what's going on with immigration, right? But at the end of the day, is it affecting my life as much as our money? And the answer is no. It is affecting people's lives, but not to the extent of money. So this is just my little rant here. Forgive me for jumping into this, but I have to give my 2 cents here on this. And you have the world's greatest problem can be fixed by the world's greatest solution, crypto, right? So to me, there's a reason why they did the debates very early, right? They normally do it towards the end of the year, I think October, September. They're doing it in June. Why? So that people can probably forget about it when it comes time to vote, or because they want to get Biden out of the way. I think they're going to switch Biden out with somebody else. That's just what I think. I think they have no shot at winning with Biden, so they're going to try to kill as much time as they can and then switch it on them, right? And you could say, well, what are you talking about? I thought this was supposed to be about charts and about crypto. What are you talking about? For me, there is no crypto if Joe Biden gets in, okay? There's no, first of all, you got to have somebody in there that is pro crypto. That's just period, the end, right? You have to, or crypto is dead. You think, other countries are wanting to get ahead of this crypto game? Absolutely. So if the United States puts up all of these restrictions and all of these taxes, and they basically they can tax crypto out of existence, right? I mean, it's true, they can't kill Bitcoin, right? They can't kill it. But what they can do is the on and off ramps to crypto. They can destroy that, and also they can tax it out of existence. So, we need a pro crypto president. We need a pro economy president that can really open the doors, remove the red tape, right? Obliterate the corruption at the SEC, and it'll bring so many more crypto jobs, much more crypto innovation, and it will inevitably unleash an ocean of liquidity and also innovation, right? That's the key word, innovation. So we have to have all of these things lining up. And at the end of the day, that doesn't happen without the political landscape, going forward. So we, as a people, need to be aware of that, right? So it's kind of funny, like, we live, breathe, and sleep crypto. Crypto is in our blood. Crypto runs through our veins. Crypto is the key to unlock future gains, right? It is the truth. There is nothing out there besides maybe the stock market that can provide, right? And not even the stock market, like fraction of a fraction of the gains compared to crypto. So, in this high inflation, in this terrible economy, in this horrible clown show situation, what do we have? We have crypto. But you know what? Crypto, the price hasn't been performing. That's because we're gonna jump into it. But at the end of the day, it actually has been performing. It's been going up, 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 up for a while. You go back to the beginning of 2023, we're going up, 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 sideways, up, 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 sideways, right? We're in an uptrend. This is going up, guys. In the last several months, we've been basically range bound, right? So, but anyways, we have no choice but to fight alongside crypto, because at the end of the day, this is what's going to help you and your family, right? Most of you have jobs, right? But those jobs aren't going to put you in a position of security, right? And protect your wealth. Maybe you have a really, really, really good job, but I guarantee most of us have average jobs with average pay. That's really, you can't really save up to do things. And to have that time freedom we all want and deserve, right? So crypto is that key to unlocking generational wealth. And you can laugh and say, yeah, right, that's never going to happen. But believe me, if you buy crypto, every paycheck you get, let's say you put 0.5% of your paycheck, or let's say, 2% of your paycheck, not financial advice, but let's say you did, and you did that over the last 3 to 4 years, the next 2 bull cycles, you would be a millionaire. You would be a millionaire. And I believe we will get there, right? The important thing is to continue, like this is the strategy that has worked for me, to continue to dollar cost average, because eventually the market is going to grow, right? We don't even have regulations in yet. That's another thing the debate missed. Why didn't they talk about crypto, right? Maybe they're going to talk about it in the next debate. Maybe they don't want people to talk about it. But to me, there's only a few issues that actually matter. And that is the central banking fiat currency system. They print money out of thin air, they loan it to the government, and then we have to pay it back, plus interest. Well, where does those dollars come from? They were never existed in the first place. So it's a scam, right? Go to usdebtclock.org, right? If you talk about, they talk about all these little things, Trump and Biden, but I would have said, go to usdebtclock.org and then come talk to me, right? That's the real problem right there. You talk about healthcare, you talk about this, you talk about that. All of those problems will be resolved if you have a sound money system. We don't have a sound money system. We have an unaccountable system. And then here's a big thing that I forgot is the BRICS nations, right? You have the BRICS nations basically coming out with their own currency going against the dollar. That's going to kill the dollar, right? Because it's competition. So the dollar's last days are coming. So that's another big reason why we need crypto. And we need decentralization. And we need a level playing field, right? So I think crypto is the biggest solution. Crypto is the world's biggest solution to the world's biggest problem. I'll say that one more time because it just sounds so great. Crypto is the world's biggest solution to the world's biggest problem. And then also gold and silver, right? That's also a solution. So this economy can't continue the way it is, right? We don't live in a people's economy. We live in a central banking economy. We live in a fiat economy. We live in a debt-based economy. We live in a credit score economy. You want to buy a car, you got to finance it, right? Now people can't even, now it used to be 5 years, now it's 10 years. Now you want to buy a little Honda Civic, you're going to finance it for the next 30 years of your life. Like it gets to a point where it's ridiculous. You want to buy a flat screen TV? Okay, you can go and finance it and you can pay that for the next 5 years. It's all longer terms, right? Lower rates, then higher rates. And it's just ridiculous. Back in the 1950s, it used to be where the dad would work and the mom would stay home and take care of the house. And they would live nice and comfortable, and they would have, a lot of extra spending money. Sometimes they would have one or even two cars, and all on the man's salary. Now you have the husband and the wife working, and they can barely afford the electric bill, let alone two cars, let alone all the groceries, right? So that's the problem. That's the real problem that they should talk about in the debates, because you got to talk about things that everybody is on the same side with, right? Everybody lives, everybody sleeps, everybody breathes. You got to talk about things that people have in common, right? And the number one thing everybody has in common is our livelihoods. It's our money. It's our position of wealth. It's how comfortable are we living? Are we struggling paycheck to paycheck, right? Are we thriving, right? Only the rich are thriving and the poor get more poor, right? So that is why we're all in crypto. That's why I'm in crypto. That's why probably you're in crypto. You're in crypto because you see a solution that can potentially give you more gains, right? The only reason we're in crypto is because we want to make money, right? And why are we starving so bad to make money? Because we live in a system that is taking our money away. And you can say, well, how's that so? It's because of our purchasing power. So here you go. This is the problem right here. This is the problem, right? Ever since we went off the gold standard, it's been going down a lot more. But it's only getting worse, right? The dollar is dying. And there's nothing there that can really replace it except crypto, right? I'm not saying it's going to be Bitcoin. I'm not saying it's going to be one individual coin. I think they should all be allowed, right, to compete with one another and let the best coin, whichever the supply or whichever the demand is higher, right? And right now that's looking like Bitcoin. Now, can the world run solely on Bitcoin? Probably not, because it's a mining situation, all of the electricity, and it's clunky and it's expensive. To me, Bitcoin is, meant to be stored in the safe like gold, right? You're not going to take out a gold bar and pay for a cheeseburger, right? Just like you wouldn't spend Bitcoin on, a tank of gas, right? You would more so use Bitcoin as a store of value, right? You're storing your value in Bitcoin. You're not using it for expenditures, right? That could be like a utility coin like XRP or XLM, right? There's different coins, there's different cryptos for different things. There's different utility cases for different problems, right? So at the end of the day, this is all about our entire money system, and this is all about crypto fixing it, right? But the central banks, they don't want that. That is why I am pro-Trump. That is why I'm voting for Trump. Everything I just said, right? I hate to get political, but at the end of the day, we got to talk about it, right? Because there's not going to be a chart for me to look at if we have a president in there that's not going to do the right thing, right? So, last night, both of them, in my opinion, it's just a clown show. It's a clown show. I mean, they're both. I mean, Trump did lie a lot, saying it's the greatest economy in the history of our country, and it's not the case. Now, it is the case based off the statistical numbers, right? The statistical numbers, which are all fake, by the way, right? Like GDP numbers, all those economic data numbers are said that it was the best economy in the history of our country, but those numbers are fake, right? They're all rigged, right? Even Trump said we live in a rigged system. So anyways, that's just, me going off the rails a little bit and explaining. Hopefully people understand that, for me, the world's biggest problem, again, is the money system, right? And I'm going to put a documentary in the comment section, and it'll be this documentary is the best documentary you'll ever watch in your entire life. Is the biggest red pill you'll ever swallow. It's long, but it's really, really good, and it will open your eyes to the history of the central banking system and just how, going back, centuries ago, how they weaseled their way into positions of power, right? Just like how the Federal Reserve did back in 1913, right? So again, the Federal Reserve is a private system. They answer to no one, right? They don't allow an audit. They're basically a private entity that's controlling our multi-hundred trillion dollar monetary system. I mean, that's kind of rigged, don't you think? Right? Shouldn't our entire monetary system be decentralized? Like DeFi, right? DeFi. That's why the SEC went after DeFi, because the banks told Goldman Gary Gensler, right? He's a banker, does the bidding for the world's banks, just like Elizabeth Warren. He told DeFi, DeFi is one of those things that they don't like because it's competition for centralized finance, right? What's better, decentralized finance or centralized finance? So, crypto, there's a lot of solutions, even the voting, right? Speaking of voting, crypto and blockchain can handle all the votes, right? Put the voting system on the blockchain. Put our US mail system on the blockchain. I mean, there's a lot of things you could put on the block. Put all the accounting on the blockchain, right? Like Filecoin, right? All the files, right? There's so many solutions out there. So anyway, at the end of the day, this it's up for we the people to decide how this is going to roll out. And for me, you know, I can only do one thing, which is continue. That's why I hodl. That's why I keep saying dollar cost average. Don't worry about the price. Look, if you're a trader and you're trading in and out, that's different. But I'm a trader 10%, but 90% of what I do is hodl and invest. So 90%, right? I'm trading, I'm investing, but mostly just investing. And I'm going to continue to build and build and build, right? I've been dollar cost averaging since 2017 and haven't sold any of my HODL position because I'm not going to sell for one cycle or two cycles. I'm doing it for the bigger cycle, right? Once I'm in a position of strength, then I don't need as high as a price to be, sustainable. So that's why when we have these dips, right? That's why, if we do have to go back into reaccumulation on Bitcoin, for example, right? If this is a rise, crash, retrace, we have to go back into reaccumulation, go sideways, then break out. That's going to suck right now. But in 5 years from now, you're going to look back and think, wow, that was the best opportunity of a lifetime because it allowed me to dollar cost average for for another additional year or so, just like how that happened here. For example, if I had $1,000 worth of crypto and then crypto just went to the moon, then you have X amount, right? But if I put $1,000 in here and crypto went all the way up, but then it came back down, and then I put more money in here, then when you go up, now you have a lot more to show for. So if it didn't go through this reaccumulation phase, you would have a lot less come time to the top of the bull cycle, right? So if we do have to have something big like that, it's actually a good thing, not a bad thing, right? And if we do go up, that's also a good thing, right? So no matter what happens, I'm happy. If we go up, great, we make money. If we go down, that's okay, we buy more. And then people say, well, I've already bought a lot and I don't want to buy anymore. Well, then that's something you're going to have to figure out on your own, because for me, we don't, at the end of the day, it's all about, betting against the debt and becoming your own central bank, right? I don't want to have all my money in the bank. I want self-custody of my wealth, right? And maybe there are some avenues where it's acceptable for certain things like the vault, like Coinbase Vault, right? I mean, there are certain things where, it's all about custody at the end of the day. So do you want to have self-custody, or do you want someone else to have custody over your crypto? For me, if it's crypto, if it's not in your own possession, then you technically don't own it. If you don't have the private keys, if you don't have your seed phrase, then you don't own the crypto. But again, it's about betting against the debt and becoming your own central bank, right? Crypto, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. There's only 100 billion XRP, right? There's only 81 million Litecoin, right? There's only so many of so many. So when you look at the dollar, you print infinite amounts. And you guys already know this, right? So, that's the kind of the misconception is, crypto is valued in dollars, and crypto can go way up and it can go way back down. But the point is, when you zoom all the way out, we are in an uptrend, right? We continue to do these cycles. It's clear as day here. We have a cycle, we go up, right? We come down, we go into accumulation, we go back up. We come back down, we go into accumulation, now we're going back up. And you're going to have little pit stops on the way. But at the end of the day, if you go all the way from here, this whole thing is going up. Yes, you have big moves down, but the whole thing itself is going up. So when I say dollar cost average, you're not dollar cost averaging for your, for yourself. You're dollar cost averaging for your future self, right? Think about, let's say you're 30 years old. Think about what your 35-year-old self would say, or think about what your 40-year-old self will say. Or let's say you're in your 60s and you're basically coming to retirement. Well, then think about, your family. Think about your grandkids. Think about yourself, right? Think about how much it's going to change your basically your generational downline, because when I'm old and gray, I want to look back and think I've done everything I could to help put my family in a position of strength, right? And to me, when I look at the stock market, when I look at this, when I look at that, there's only one thing, and that's crypto, right? So what's going to be the next big thing? Well, if it's not involving crypto, then, it could be AI. But if you look at AI is crypto as well. So, look at the AI sector. So anyways, dollar cost averaging, and HODLing. Now, let's say we have a big catastrophe. We have a black swan event, and this is an A, B, C. And you're way back down in here now, right? And you dollar cost averaged up here. And now we're way the hell down here, right? In a big ABC, you're going to feel like, man, I messed up, right? I shouldn't have done that. But here's the thing. Again, it comes down to the fundamental reason why you're buying crypto in the first place. And really, when you look at the dollar, when you look at the Federal Reserve, when you look at countries moving away from the dollar, you look at China and Russia buying record amounts of gold, right? Dumping U.S. treasuries, right? Look at the BRICS nations, right? The dollar is screwed. So, and grocery bills are going up. Inflation is going up. So why am I continuing to hold dollars? If those dollars are in the bank, they're getting devalued, right? But if I put them into crypto, they have a better chance, right, at becoming more valuable, right? And if you do have another big bear market, then yes, it will lose dollar value for your crypto, but it's still one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if that Bitcoin is at 50K or 100K or 500K, right? One Bitcoin is going to be one Bitcoin. So for me, it's not about what those Bitcoins are valued at this moment, because what they're valued at this moment is going to be much different in 5 to 10 years from now, right? It's not about what your Bitcoin is valued in. It's about how many Bitcoins you have, right? What's more important, Bitcoin being at 100,000 or you having $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? So I think I made my case here. And anyways, I watched the debate, some pieces of it, and it just fired me up. And I just had to come out and give a rant here. So I apologize if I offend anyone, but at the end of the day, crypto is our only solution at escaping this velocity of the dollar going to zero, right? So, we could have been born in a different time and we wouldn't have crypto as basically a weapon to survive. But now we do. So, once you're in crypto, I look at it like a blood gang. You're in it for life. There's no reason why I would want to sell my crypto, right? Let's say I sell my crypto and then I go into dollars. What am I going to do with those dollars? You're going to go buy a house. Okay, let's say I go buy a house, but then in 5 years, that crypto was worth 10 houses. So if I would have just waited another 5 or 10 years, I could have bought 10 houses. You know what I mean? So don't look at the value now. Look at the value much, much, much later on. Unless you're trading. If you're trading, that's a different situation. That's a different story, right? But if you're an investor, right, look at it from Warren Buffett's perspective. The stock market or the crypto market is a device that transfers wealth from the impatient to the patient. You gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. That's what it comes down to, right? I mean, this is an election year. The dollar, Rome wasn't built in a day, but it also wasn't destroyed in a day. It took a while for Rome to finally crumble, just like it's going to take a while for the dollar and the fiat currency system to finally crumble, right? And when it does crumble, we're going to have crypto, right? It's running parallel with the central banking system, and that's going to be our chance, to jump off the train onto another moving train, right? Basically transition out of the old system into a new system, right? Out of the old central banking system into a new blockchain gold-based system, right? Some people say like the quantum financial system. I don't know about all that stuff. Right? But what I'm saying is there's going to be a better system, right? Even the bad guys are setting this up for the Fed to fail, right? The system has to fail in order for them to switch us from the current fiat system to the central banking digital currency system. But once they try to pull that move, and they're going to come out and say, look, we had a cyber attack, or this happened or that happened, right? And our financial system is broken, and COVID didn't help either. That's really, 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 really the reason why they released that in the first place, was to get Trump out of the way and to also kill the global economy so that it can speed up the process for the transition away from the paper currency, right? They don't want cash anymore. They want to get rid of cash, and they want to go towards what? They want to go towards digital currency, right? So they can trace you and track you and control you, right? That's what it's about. Trace you, track you, and control you. And that's why crypto, again, is so very much important. And that's why I believe there's going to come a time where the people are going to have to decide, are we going to go forward with this CBDC system, right, where the banks can control everything? Or are we going to go for, we don't have a US dollar. We have a Federal Reserve debt note, right? So instead of a US Federal Reserve debt note, we're going to actually have a US dollar, a real US dollar, not through the Fed, but through the Treasury Department, right? Why isn't it going through our Treasury? It's not. It doesn't say Treasury. It says Federal Reserve debt note. So we have fake money when it comes down to it. And the reason why the politicians and the banks wanted fake money is because they can rule the world. Look at all the oil, look at all the gas, look at all the wars, right? They can control the world with their fake money, right? They built up the military with fake money. They built up a lot of things, right? So at the end of the day, time is ticking down, and it's all about, it's like a game of musical chairs. When the music stops, are you going to be sitting on a chair, or are you going to be holding crypto, or are you going to be like wishing you had bought it, or are you going to be one of those who capitulated and sold the bottom, right? So maybe we have a lot more downside. Maybe we have to come all the way back down to our base right in here, right, and then go, right? So for me, this is just a little pit stop if we had to do that. This is not a reason for me to sell all of my investments that I worked so hard for over the last several years, right? Since 2017. I'm just going to sell it all and walk away and hope that the price goes lower so that I can buy the dip. That's insane. No, what instead, I'm going to conserve my money, right? And your dollar cost average. But again, it's all about what people are capable of buying, right? You think your bags are packed. Your bags are not packed. Your bags will never be packed. There's always room in your bag, right? There's always room in your bag. If you have a job and you're creating an income, do you have a bag in your income? No, right? That's like saying, I have 3 weeks worth of paychecks, so my bags are full. I don't want any more. No, you're going to need to continue to get paychecks, right? Just because your bags are full doesn't mean, the electric bill doesn't stops coming, right? The electric bill is going to come every single month, right? Your phone bill is going to come every single month, which means what? You need more crypto. If you think you got a lot, you don't, right? That I thought I had a lot back in 2020, but I didn't realize what a lot was until you really have a lot. And then you don't really have a lot because you want to continue to build that up. Why? Because when we do transition, it's going to be the most important time of our lives, because that's when the real generational wealth. Remember, they keep saying, the greatest wealth transfer in human history is coming. Well, that's only going to be the case if people are on the right side of that. And that's why I say HODL gold, right? Buy gold, buy silver, buy crypto, and just wait. Sit there and just wait. That's all you got to do, right? And then when the dollar dies, when the dollar crashes, or when the economy, or whatever happens, or even when the Ethereum ETF gets approved, when regulations get approved, when utility gets up and going, that's when your bags are really going to shine. They're not going to shine right now as you're buying, right? People think they buy crypto, they want it to immediately go up. But if it immediately went up, then you wouldn't have enough time to really accumulate a decent position for, the rest of your life, really, right? Because the idea is to invest into crypto and have that crypto be a sustainable stream of wealth for your entire life. So you can live the life you always wanted. Time freedom, right? Without having to work at a job. And the only way that's possible is to have a lot of crypto, and then also to have that crypto make you more crypto, like staking, right? If you have, let's say you buy a bunch of crypto, and then in 5 years you're a millionaire. Well, great. Now you take that $1 million, right? Or you take some of it and then you put it in a situation where it can earn you more. It can earn you, let's say it earns you 5% a year or 10% a year. So if you have $1 million and that staking whatever is earning you 10% a year, that's $100,000 a year, interest free, right? So you're basically living off the interest instead of having to sell your whole bag. You see what I mean? So that's the situation that I want to find myself in, is having a tremendous amount of crypto valued at a tremendous amount of money, and then not instead of selling all of it to be, a millionaire, instead just sell a little bit of it to live off of, but more importantly, borrow against yourself, right? Or loan the crypto out, right? I can take, let's say you take $50,000 and you can borrow it against yourself and then pay back yourself. Or you can stake it, right? You stake the crypto and then you're earning a percentage each year. So you're basically just living off the interest. There are ways to make crypto life-changing, right? People, if whoever, they're buying crypto, let's say they have a $5,000 bag or a $10,000 bag or even a $20,000 bag. And they're thinking to themselves, how am I going to be a millionaire with only a $10,000 or $20,000 bag, right? It's going to be hard, but you will get there. The best thing you can do is just allow time to pass. The more you work at your job, the more you get a paycheck, the more you invest, the more you hodl, the bigger your bag will be. And then once you have a big bull cycle, then you're going to have a lot more to show for. And let's say you're still not at that level you want to be. But then guess what? There's always going to be another cycle. There's always going to be another coin. There's always going to be another investment opportunity, right? So at the end of the day, it's all about being patient and knowing what you hold and understanding the environment we live in, right? Because the environment is not suited for you. It's suited for the top 1%. So if you want to escape this sort of situation that we're all put in, because wouldn't you just want to fill up your car and go wherever you want? Most people, can do that. Most people can't do that, right? So it just all depends on people's situation. But everybody has one thing in common, and that's money. And there's only one money that actually works, and that's crypto. And there's only one threat to the banks, and that's crypto. And there's only one problem in the world, right? And that's the banks. So anyways, that is my 41-minute monologue. Okay. Man, sometimes you just get sick and tired of things, and it builds up inside you, and you just have to explode and just get it all out there on the open. So anyway, looking at the daily chart here on total 3, again, this is either going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So either one more and we get bullish divergence here, right? If we come down and make a fourth wave or a fifth wave down, let's get that bullish divergence. We get a fourth wave, we get bullish divergence. That's what I want to see, right? If not, then what I want to see, if the low is in, then what I want to see is, let me go to the 4-hour, is I want to see, that could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, but I don't know if it's done, is 5 waves. We want to see 5 waves. So if we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, and then we get an ABC pullback, then that's, to me, okay, yeah, the bottom is in, and that's probably where I would considering adding to my position, because I want to wait. I don't know if we're going to get another low or not, right? Maybe we do. If we do, it's probably likely that we will, and if we do, we want to see that bullish divergence, and then that would be a good spot to go long, right? Right now is not a good spot for me to buy, right? I mean, if you're investing, for the future, right, then yeah. But if you're trying to, get the best entry as possible with the least amount of risk, right? Because it's all about entry, divided by risk. And, because if the bottom is in, then I want to see 5 waves up and a 3-way pullback. That's when I would buy. If the bottom is not in, then I want to see 5 waves down with bullish divergence, and then that's where I would buy. You see what I mean? So we have to let the market kind of reveal itself. It could be a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders here, but it's not looking too good for that. When I look at coins like even Filecoin, I mean, it kind of has that, you have this bottom, and this bottom. So this could be a larger fourth wave, right? It could be a large fourth wave where we have, we come back down. So we have 3 up, we come 3 down, and then we go another 3 up like this. Or if we can get 5 up with an ABC pullback, that would be great. So anyways, that's about it for the charts. I mean, there's really not much for me to say anymore. I mean, same thing with ADA, right? We have 1, 2, 3. This could be 4. Then we get 5. We get that bullish divergence, and that would be the low. Now, again, the low could be in, right? You just don't know if it's in or not. So we just have to wait. It actually kind of looks a little bullish here. You kind of have potentially a little ascending triangle here in the works. But again, there's no proof yet, right? So let's get to Bitcoin here. So the thing with Bitcoin is, again, you're probably in a fourth wave. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we come up for 4. Maybe 4 isn't finished yet. We come down, then we come all the way back up to 64K. Then we come down, right? And then we get the bullish divergence here. The fourth waves are always tricky. Now, are we oversold? Yes. Do we need a bounce? Yes. Is it coming? Probably, right? Because what I'm looking here at Bitcoin right now is, we have a 3-wave pullback here. So it actually looks a little bit bullish at the moment, right? I mean, you could say that this is wave 1 and this is an ABC pullback, right? So then you need another push to the upside. And all that would do is create a bigger fourth wave. So A, B, C, right? And then you come down. And here's the thing. If you get high enough, you might not have to come all the way down. It could be a double bottom where you come down here, right? At a double bottom, right? So then you come back up, right? So there's still a lot of different things that could happen. I think what people want to know is, when is it gonna moon, right? When moon is the big question. And in my opinion, it depends who wins the election, right? And then it also depends on the timing of this wave here. For example, if we come back and have some kind of ABC and then we're kind of going sideways in here, I think we're going to have a really, really, really bullish 2025. A really bullish 2025, because we would have had that ABC pullback, right? Sort of back test this 50K area, and then 2025 would be very bullish, and that would be our fifth wave, right? So we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that fifth wave will come in probably between October, November, December. So people say, when's it going to be bullish? That's all I care about. Well, I think, depending if this wave finishes up early or not, I think it's going to be towards October, November, December, and going into next year, depending how big this thing actually gets, right? Because what could have happened is this be into reaccumulation in here, right? And then by the time that reaccumulation is over with, it's already September, and then you start going up here, right? You start lifting up, and then you kind of break out October, and then November, December is a big breakout, right? So another way you can look at it is say, if this is going to come down A, B, C and get back down in here, now it's going to take even more time, right? But it's still going to be in that October, November, December area where we can start to blast off. Now, if all of that doesn't come true, and this is actually an ABC, a small one here, a flat right here, so it's a flat pattern, and then we kind of go sideways, we break out, and now we're starting to break out in the summer, which is not very unheard of, right? And then once we get to September, we kind of pull back, right, into that third wave, and then we have maybe one more push to the upside, November, December, and it barely takes out that high, creating the bearish divergence, and then we kind of fall, and then we have a big alt season in here as well. So either way you slice it and dice it, I think, October, November, December, it could be very bullish. Now, the way that would change is if we actually, lose 50K. So if we come down here, we come back up, test it as resistance, and then come back down, lose 50K here, right? Even when we get to October, November, I think we can get a retracement in here, but then it's probably going to keep going down after that, right? And then that would probably lead us into, some reaccumulation areas in here, and then a continuation to the upside. So that would be a rise, crash, retrace. All of this is reaccumulation. You go sideways, then you break out. Exactly what happened over here, right? You had a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. You went sideways in this box, then you broke out. So, we're at a big inflection point. Now, what do I think is going to happen? Well, I really want to see another wave to the upside, because we only have 3 waves, right? We have 1, 2, 3, and this is wave 4. Once wave 4 is finished, I want to see another wave to the upside, making 5 waves. And if we can get 5 waves, then we can get a really solid altcoin, an alt season here, right? But I think the alts are kind of waiting on Bitcoin to decide what it wants to do here. Now, it is spending an awful lot of time here. We did break the all-time highs, right? And we're kind of just playing around in here. So this is at a very dangerous level. We haven't technically broke it yet, right? We did break an all-time high, but we haven't had an expanded market, right? So I think the altcoins are waiting for that expansion to happen in Bitcoin. And eventually it will happen, especially, just look at the dollar. Look at the Fed. Look at the debt. Look at, gold and silver. Eventually it's going to happen. So people don't want their money in the bank anymore. They want to put their money into crypto because it is conserving their purchasing power. If you look at Bitcoin over the last, 10 years, it's performed really, really well, right? It's still performing well. Yes, you have these big down areas in the market, but they're always followed by bigger rallies. Eventually, those big rallies are going to come. Now, here's the thing. We just had a big rally. We were down here at basically $15,000 here, right? And we went all the way up to 70,000. So in 1 year, right, 2023, we were at 15,500, and we went all the way up to over $70,000, right? That's 365%, right? Bitcoin went up $57,000 over the last, 2 years, right? So that's huge. So, if we do have a big pullback, then hey, we have a big pullback. But again, come on, Bitcoin was at 16,000, 15,000, and it went all the way up to 70,000, basically in a straight line here. Yeah, we had some pullbacks. We're getting another pullback, but the trend is up. And until the trend breaks down, we have to still remain bullish, right? And even if it did turn down, this is a big wave 1. We pull back for wave 2, and then we go up for wave 3 here, right? So if this is all going to be wave 1, which I really can't see it being, I really see this as a 5th wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So if we're going to get a bigger 4th wave that takes us into reaccumulation, then that's what we get here, right? So let's see here. XLM is looking a little bit interesting here. Why? Because we kind of had 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It kind of looks like this is 3, 3, and you kind of need 5 now, right? Some kind of bigger ABC. Because any way you slice it and dice it, you have a 3-wave move here, right? So we want to see a base get formed and then a continuation. Now, another thing with XLM, right? It looks like we have even potentially a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, ABC 2, right? So we have a triple 1, 2, 1, 2 here, which is very bullish. Now, let me show you this. Here's an example, Goldfinch here. Here's an example of a 1, 2, 1, 2. So, people say, show me an example. Here's an example right here. We have a 1, 2, 1, 2. which led to a massive wave 3, right? 4, 5, right? So that was very bullish. We had a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. So you can see how that looks. It kind of looks like a little M here with a slanted M. It looks like this. That's what it looks like. Okay, so now look at this. Here's the price of theta, right? You also have a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So you have that slanted M here. So maybe if you looked at gold, whatever that was, you know, you could have something big like this, and then a pullback, and then another hit to the high, just like what that other chart was showing, except this one's even bigger. And then if you look at this, let me go to the 1 hour. Also have kind of like a 1, 2, 1, 2 right there, right? So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2. It kind of looks the same, right? So if we don't, as long as we don't break this low, I want to see it get held in here, maybe form a little base right in here, and then go up. If we form a base, we go up, we come back down, then it's going to look more like we need another wave to the downside. So, you know, we're sort of right in the middle here of what could happen. It is Friday, the weekend is here, so I don't expect anything too crazy, but, you know, it's crypto, you just never know. The weekly chart here, you know, still looks pretty good, right? I mean, we have a doji, which signals that the low or the local low is probably in here, or at least close. Just like this, the top here was a doji, the top was a doji, and it said we're going down, we're going down. Now we have a bottom, that's a doji, which means you probably go up, right? So the doji candles, you know, candles that look like this, or even you have a doji down here that was bottom, this tells you the bottom is close, right? Here's a doji here that told the top was in. So now we have another doji here, which means the bottom could be in, right? Now this is the weekly chart. It doesn't mean we can't have on the 4-hour chart another wave to the downside. You know, when we look at the 3-day chart, we're still on a, I mean, we still have that 9 here on this chart here, right? So we have a 9. It hasn't really been activated yet because I think it's, you know, forming somewhat of a base in here, right? So, you know, again, it can come down here and wick down here. Even on this candle here, it could come down and wick down here, and look, now it made a lower low. And then you get that bullish divergence, and then you can start to see you know, some sideways movement, then a breakout, right? Maybe a back test, and then a bigger breakout. You see something like that, right? That's what I would like to see happen. Maybe a wick to the downside, right? Gather up some of that liquidity, and then get that bullish divergence as well. So yeah, but not too much has changed here on crypto. I mean, just looking at Matic here, it's also forming a base. Let's see if we have one more hit to the low, or let's see if we can get 5 waves and an ABC pullback. But I think all of these areas are decent buying opportunities, right? They're decent buying opportunities, especially, you know, we have 5 waves here. Right? I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we already technically have 5. But inside the 5th, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We still need one more. If it wants to, you know, get that one more low here. And then what you have is essentially, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So you have 5 up. And this could be creating some kind of ABC pattern, right? So we'll see how that plays out. Or a better one, which I like is better, is this whole thing is wave 1. This is an A, this is a B, this is a C. So we have an expanded flat here. That's what I would prefer. So we're just kind of working out, again, hashing out that bottoming process, Let's see how it unfolds. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, and if you can, hit that like, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. By the way, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about the debate, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.